Good morning, cadets. Come back to the equation which we have derived yesterday, which I have discussed yesterday. This is the equation for forced oscillation, right? Where the right hand side is the equation for periodic force F naught, which is given by A cos omega d t, and you know omega d is the angular frequency of the periodic force. The solution for this gives us equation for displacement of forced oscillations. Xt is equal to A cos omega dt plus phi, where you can see now the displacement of forced oscillations is depending on the angular frequency of the periodic force omega d, and t is the time which is counted after the external periodic force is applied. The moment external periodic force is applied, from that moment time t is counted. And then the amplitude of such forced oscillations is given by F naught divided by square root of m square omega naught square minus omega d square plus omega d square b square, where you can see now the amplitude of forced oscillations depend on angular frequency of the periodic force, angular frequency of the driving force, and natural frequency of oscillation of the oscillator. So it depends on both the frequencies, and amplitude also depends on the damping factor B. So that's we got the amplitude. Now we can verify clearly what are the factors on which the amplitude of such forced oscillations depend. There are two things to be observed here. One is when there is enough amount of damping. When there is enough amount of damping, then omega d square b square is to be accounted for. If damping is minimum, if damping due to the dissipative forces such as frictional force or viscous force, if damping is minimum, if it is almost negligible, then we can neglect this term omega d square b square. So if we neglect this second term, then we are left with amplitude A equal to square root of m square omega naught square minus omega d square whole square. So I am writing now, if damping factor B is minimum, that is if dissipative forces are negligible, then omega dB is almost taken to be 0. Then for this case, the amplitude of forced oscillations A becomes equal to F naught divided by square root of m square. Square root of m square becomes m. In the same way, square root of this bracket square becomes only that bracket omega naught minus omega d. It means now when damping is minimum, if dissipative forces are negligible, then amplitude depends on the values of natural frequency and driving frequency of the forces. Thus, amplitude depends on omega d, angular frequency of driven oscillations, and omega naught, natural frequency of the oscillator. In this case, suppose omega naught is approaching omega d, or omega d is approaching omega naught. If suppose omega d is approaching omega naught, then what happens in the denominator? The denominator becoming almost tending to 0. If the denominator is almost tending to 0, the amplitude almost tends to infinity. Means the amplitude shoots up. The amplitude suddenly rises up. So if we draw the diagram, or if we draw the graph of amplitude versus the frequency, then we get the idea. So there we consider the damping constant, damping factor B to be minimum. Okay. So for various values of B, it takes various values of amplitude as the driving frequency is approaching the natural frequency. Now look at the graphs. We have drawn the graph of, I have drawn the graph of amplitude versus the frequency. If the natural driving frequency omega d almost approaches the value of omega naught, means omega d is almost approaching omega naught, then what happens to the amplitude of these forced oscillations? Amplitude of forced oscillations keeps on increasing. You see, when omega naught becomes equal to omega d, or omega d becomes equal to omega naught, omega d by omega naught becomes 1. At that moment what happens? The amplitude becomes peak value. Amplitude becomes highest. The amplitude reaches the highest value. So these are the three graphs for different values of damping constants. So this is the graph for maximum damping factor. If B is 140 gram per second, if it is maximum damping due to the surrounding medium, then the amplitude will have less value of peak. Amplitude will have less value of peak. If it is reduced, if damping is reduced to about medium value, say about 70 gram per second, then the amplitude will have a better peak. It will have a better peak. The amplitude shoots up. If it is having least damping, you can see the amplitude is shooting up to the maximum value. So this is very, very important. This happens when omega d is approaching omega naught. So I can write, if omega d approaches omega naught, that is natural frequency. If the driving frequency of the forces approaches the natural frequency of the oscillator, then the amplitude shoots up. You can see amplitude shoots up to the maximum value. Amplitude shoots up to the maximum value. But according to this equation, when we take the damping factor to be 0, then what happens? The amplitude has to become infinity. But it will never happen in the practice. It will never happen in the nature. Because always there will be some amount of damping. If damping factor is considered, second case, if damping factor B is considerable, if B damping factor is considerable, then when omega d becomes equal to omega naught, omega d becomes equal to omega naught, then considerable damping when omega d driving frequency is approaching or almost equal to natural frequency, then amplitude A now becomes equal to f naught divided by the second factor which we are now considering, square root of omega d square, and b square. So square root of omega d square, b square becomes omega d b. That is the second factor. Therefore, amplitude now will have very large value which depends on b. So from this we see amplitude becomes maximum when omega d is equal to omega naught, which depends inversely on damping factor P and angular frequency of external periodic force. So it depends only on angular frequency of external periodic force and the damping factor B, and thus it shoots up to the maximum value. This complete phenomenon is called as resonance. Then what is resonance? When the external periodic frequency of the force, when the angular frequency of the external force, just becomes equal to natural frequency of the oscillator, then the oscillator oscillates with maximum amplitude. It oscillates with maximum amplitude. This phenomenon is called as resonance. Right? So it's very simple now. In these discussions, what we have discussed is nothing but resonance. Resonance is the phenomenon of matching of frequencies. What are the two frequencies here? Natural frequency of the oscillator and the angular frequency of the external periodic force. And the angular frequency of the external periodic force becomes just equal to the natural frequency of oscillator, then the oscillator possesses maximum amplitude. This phenomenon is called as resonance. Now we can write the meaning of resonance. So now we can define what is resonance. The phenomenon of reaching maximum amplitude when the angular frequency of driving force matches with the natural frequency of the oscillator, then such phenomenon is called as resonance. It's very simple. So what is resonance? The phenomenon of reaching maximum amplitude. When the driving frequency of periodic force matches with the natural frequency of the oscillator is called as resonance. So we are learning some of the interesting examples of resonance that occur in the nature. Okay, so remember the resonance, although it is says about the reaching of or shooting up of maximum amplitude, the maximum amplitude will never be infinity. According to this equation, the maximum amplitude may reach infinity, but there will be always some damping factor. Because of damping factor B that is existing in the surrounding medium, there will be always some restriction on the peak value of amplitude. So B plays a very important role. For minimum damping, for least damping, you see there is a highest peak. For maximum damping B, there is a lowest peak. For median value of damping B, there is a medium value of peak. So this is the meaning of amplitude reaching the maximum value. That is what we call it as resonance. It's quite common experience for all of us when we are enjoying the swing, when you are oscillating in the swing, when we go on tapping the ground every time when we are returning, when we go on tapping the ground and take a leap, or when you take the help of an external person to push the swing, when the external person keeps on pushing the swing, when the frequency of oscillating spring, natural frequency of oscillating swing becomes exactly equal to the frequency of pushing of external periodic force, then naturally the swing takes maximum displacement, the swing takes maximum amplitude. At that moment, there is no need to take the help of external force from your friend. So that is what we call it as resonance. This is commonly experienced by each and everyone who have played this swing, right? So like that we can discuss some interesting phenomena. The soldiers who are marching on the bridge, soldiers who are marching on the bridge will be asked to step out of the marching. They will be asked to march slowly, step out of the marching. Reason is, if the soldiers march on the bridge will have its own natural frequency of vibrations, and when the soldiers are marching, they also have their own frequency of forcing, their own frequency of tapping the ground. So when the frequency of marching of the soldiers on the ground, on the floor of the bridge matches with the frequency of vibration of the bridge, then definitely there is going to be damage to the bridge. If it is a hanging bridge, suppose it is a hanging bridge, if the soldiers are asked to march on the hanging bridge, because of that proper periodic force with which they are stamping the hanging bridge, when the frequency of the driving force of their marching matches with the natural frequency of oscillations of the hanging bridge, then the hanging bridge oscillates with maximum amplitude. So it will be very, very dangerous. The entire troop may be thrown off if it is a hanging bridge. Similarly, you can quote the example of the seismic waves which are causing the earthquake. Earthquakes are caused by seismic waves. They are having their own frequency of vibrations. So the ground, the earth's crust will have a vibration of a frequency of that seismic waves. When the frequency of these seismic waves matches with the frequency of vibration of the buildings, then what happens? The buildings vibrate with maximum displacement, maximum amplitude, and that will cause damage to the structures, damage to the buildings, right? These are all some of the examples of the resonance which you will experience whenever you are observing such vibrations. Okay, resonance is a very, very important thing that needs to be kept in mind as far as the earthquakes are concerned. Now let us have one interesting illustration from which we will come to know the matching of the frequency of the external force with the natural frequency of oscillating body. You are learning about the resonance circuits in the 12th class. You see, you are all well aware of searching for the channels in TV, right? Nowadays remote control is there. With the help of remote control, we search for the channels. What actually happens? Earlier times, there used to be manual searching in the old TVs. black and white TVs and color TVs, we used to search the channels with the manual operating. Right? What actually happens? The signals are reaching to our dish from the satellite. These signals, TV signals, they have got their own frequency. Right? And when we are searching in the TV circuit, there is a LCR circuit. You are going to learn next year. LCR, inductor, capacitor and resistor circuit, which will be operated with some power, some current. When we actually search, the LCR circuit has got its own natural frequency. When the natural frequency of this LCR circuit matches with the frequency of the signals received, the frequency of TV signals received, then resonance occurs. At that resonance, you will start getting the picture. You will start getting the picture. Immediately you will not get the audio also. After fine tuning, it is called fine tuning. Slowly when you further go for such fine tuning, then you will get the clear audio also. When the clear audio and visual effects are observed, then it will stop. That is for searching a particular channel. So when you further go for other channels, the other channels will be having other frequency. So this is what we do in the TV tuning circuit. It is called as TV tuner circuit, which you are going to learn next year. That is, it happens when the frequency of incoming TV signals matches with the frequency of the LCR circuit in the television set. Similarly, radio, it's quite common if you operate with the radio. The radio is having so many radio broadcasting services having their own frequencies. When we go on manually search, what actually we do is we are changing the frequency. At one particular frequency, what happens? If the frequency of broadcasted signals matches with the frequency of the LCR circuit in the radio set, then we get that clear audio of that particular radio station. Then we will be able to listen, whether it is a music or news, whatever program that is broadcasted, that will be clearly heard, that will be clearly received from the radio set. So that is the application of resonance. Let us see one interesting demo here. These are pendulums of different lengths. They are of same masses, you can say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pendulum are connected to one common rope. Right? They are of different heights. Number 1 and number 4 are of same height. 2, 3, 5 are of different heights. Fifth one is of quite longer length. Right? Now, when these two are to be connected to one common between two fixed ends. These are to be connected between two fixed ends. When we set this, the first pendulum into oscillation, just slightly you disturb it and keep it for oscillations. Then you will find that slowly the second one will also start oscillating, the third one will also start oscillating, the fourth one will also start oscillating, and afterwards the last one will also start oscillating. Very interesting thing is that the first one and the fourth one will start oscillating with maximum amplitude. They will start oscillating with maximum amplitude, because here the first one gives the frequency. It acts as a external force. It acts as an external force. It is sending the signal. It is sending the energy. The energy is transferred from first to second, third, fourth and fifth slowly, one by one. Then the second will observe, will oscillate with its own natural frequency. Third one will also oscillate with its own natural frequency. But since first one and fourth one are of same magnitude of length, they will oscillate with the same frequency. When the frequency of the first one and the frequency of fourth one of same length matches, they oscillate with maximum amplitude. This is called as resonance. See, this is a very interesting thing. I can demonstrate this with the help of a particular model here. You can see this is a model. I think all of you can see this. This model is having metallic strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 metallic strips. 2 longer white metallic strips. 2 medium sized, you can see, medium sized blue metallic strips, and 2 very short red metallic strips. 6 are there. These are all fastened to a, you can see here, these are all fixed with the help of screws, tightened, fastened to a common wooden piece. Now you just observe what happens when I set this, the first one, into vibrations. Observe it carefully. You will see that second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, they are also vibrating. But you see the first and the fourth one, the red strips are oscillating with maximum vibrations, maximum amplitude. Now you see this will be more clear with this second one. Now I am vibrating, setting the second, the blue one, into oscillations. You can see now. When the blue is set into oscillations, only those two of same height, they are oscillating with the maximum amplitude. This is called as resonance. The others are also oscillating with their own natural frequencies, but their frequencies are not matching with the frequency of this. And the frequency of the strips of same height, they match, and the resonance is caused. The resonance is observed. Okay. Now let us see the tallest one, having the maximum height. Now you can see very clearly. Very clearly you can see. Only those two whites are oscillating with maximum amplitude. So when the frequency of this oscillator matches with the natural frequency of this oscillator, then resonance occurs. Those two will have maximum amplitude. This phenomenon is called as resonance. It keeps on oscillating for longer and longer duration. You can see here. Others are vibrating but with less frequency. This is the demonstration of resonance. Same thing happens during the earthquakes. The earthquakes of large magnitude, of the order of 7 in the Richter scale or more than 7 in the Richter scale, is going to be very, very dangerous. Then you must have seen in the news channels and all, in the newspapers, the collapsed buildings and structures. Now it is very interesting. Very huge dams, bridges will not be affected. Very huge structure like our Gol Gumbaz, in our Bijapur, since centuries, it is still intact. Nothing has happened. But ordinary structures of medium size will be collapsing. What does it mean? During these earthquakes, the seismic waves have got their own frequency of vibrations when they travel through the earth crust. Then we have the homes, bridges or the buildings of different heights. Some are small sized buildings, some are medium sized buildings, and some are very tall and very strong buildings. When the frequency of these seismic waves matches with the frequency of these buildings, then only resonance occurs. At that moment, the buildings vibrate with maximum amplitude, which will be causing a huge damage. So, huge structures and huge buildings and very small buildings will not be affected much. The buildings which are medium sized, whose frequency, if it is matching with frequency of vibrations of the building, if it is matching with the frequency of the seismic waves, that causes huge damage. I think you got the point regarding what is the meaning of resonance. Phenomenon of increase in amplitude when the frequency of driving force matches with the frequency of natural frequency of the oscillator, then the amplitude becomes maximum. That is called as resonance. Okay, this is all about this particular topic. I think we have solved almost all the problems. If you have any doubts, please put me the doubts in the group so that we shall discuss about those doubts and problems. Now, in this topic, we have studied oscillation of a single particle. Oscillation of a single particle, like oscillation of a pendulum bob, or oscillation of a spring system, spring being connected with a block, or oscillation of a cork on the surface of water. So, we have studied oscillation of a single particle, either up and down oscillations or to and fro oscillations on the smooth table surface like linear oscillator, or oscillations of a pendulum about a mean position. So, these are all single particle oscillations. Now, a medium may be solid, liquid or gas. The medium consists of large number of particles, right? When the particles start oscillating, the energy of oscillations of one particle will be transferred to the neighborly lying particles, and thus the energy is transferred in the form of a wave. So, this transfer of energy due to disturbance caused at one particular point traveling to the other end of the medium is what we call it as wave. So, how is this wave caused? The wave is caused due to the vibrations of the particles one by one after receiving the energy. So, here we say it is not oscillation of a single particle, it is oscillation of system of particles. Oscillation of system of particles, one after the other, it is called as coupled oscillations. So, the coupled oscillations of the particles of the medium are leading to propagation of wave. That is what we are going to learn in the forthcoming topic, that is the last topic, which we called as waves and waves propagation. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.